Here we are again, YouTube. Just going to have a little chat with Graham. He's the part owner of, with his wife, owning the property, the building. He's been evicted today. He's going to give us a little insight as to what to for you people that are expecting the future, eh? Go on, so what happened this morning? How did they come in?
Well, I just looked out the window and I saw the central van here, the big high-top transit van, pull up. I recognised it from last time. And then when I looked over the fence, there's about 30-35 bailiffs in place, accompanied by police. None of them wearing hats, none of them acting under their oath, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they immediately bulled away straight through the gate and just kicked the gate, so possibly
which is over the gate over here, right?
We're barricaded.
I know she got the notes up on there, like you say. Yeah.
And then I locked myself, managed to get myself in the porch and lock the door. As soon as I turned the key, they run with a drill straight away, drilling the locks. Straight. They never asked me if they could come in, or never identified the self-produced, no paperwork whatsoever. No AX96 warrant. No warrant, nothing.
It's like this is Nazi Britain today, isn't it?
Exactly, it is, yeah, definitely.
So, like, normally, I mean, you're saying it's under litigation at the moment?
Yeah.
The old proceedings is?
Yeah.
And they still come in and took your house, nevertheless?
And they still come in and thieve the house off us, yeah.
Have you got, like, paperwork to prove that it's still under litigation?
Oh, yes, there's paperwork in the court now. And I mean, we were never in arrears, never once were we in arrears. I mean, eviction is supposed to be the last resort.
Yeah.
They use it. How come they use it as the first resort? We asked a question concerning our original mortgage deeds. And a power of attorney, and we were answered by an eviction notice 3 days later.
No, man.
A power of sale and an eviction notice.
So they rushed it through, like, within what, 7 days?
Just railroaded it through, and ignored everything that we tried to put into court with John and all the good people who tried to help us, And they just point blank refused us to submit anything in court.
So John has been helping you look for a bit of paperwork.
That's
and
right,
stuff like that. What have you found about the paperwork then, John?
Well, there's so many holes in the paperwork, it's unbelievable. When I first got the court bundle and started looking through it, because we became involved quite late. And when I first got the court bundle and started going through it, I was marking something on pretty much every page or every other page.
That was illegal.
Or there was some discrepancy there of some kind. Including seals not in place where it just says seal on paperwork, etc.
What about signatures and stuff like that? What was that? The signature like for the bailiff?
Signatures are all squiggles.
No
signatures are all squiggles or non-existent.
Yeah, no block capital letters or anything like that.
The Mickey Mouse piece of paper the head bailiff showed me this morning had all that at the bottom was head bailiff printed, by your computer. No wet ink signature.
No.
The court stamp was just a Mickey Mouse. Nothing. Supposed to be an embossed stamp, which it wasn't. And they just sort of flashed them to us like that, and that was it.
That was it. Yeah, because you're legally allowed to hold it and look at it and examine it. Make sure it is correct before they even act. And they did none of that. They just broke straight in.
I asked them to produce the AX96 warrant form, which they just put the heads on the floor and just totally ignored me question. So
they're acting unlawfully, aren't they, at the end of the day?
Without a doubt. Yeah, they're just legalised thugs, you know what I mean?
You tried to get in to get some of your property back out of the house, and now they've come and stopped you from even doing that.
This morning I asked them, I said, why aren't you wearing hats? If you're not wearing a hat, you're not acting under your oath. Alright? Which they ignored. And then an hour later they all come in the hats. When the ones who evicted us went, and then these lads turned up in the piss pots, you know what I mean?
So what's the next step then? You've got somewhere to stay? Your wife was on about cooking a meal here in the garden.
Fortunately, we're going to try and stop here as long as we can stop
it. Have you got food parcels? Anyone helping you out with stuff like that?
Yeah, well, I'm sure we'll have lots. We've got a lot of help. A lot of good people helping us.
Yeah, man. So, what's the address of the property in case anybody sees this video and wants to come down and give you a hand or support?
It's 2 and 3 Bridge Street, Sunnybrow, Crook, County Durham, DL15 0NA.
Brilliant stuff, mate. You got a number or anything like that you might want to give out, or do you want to keep that?
Yeah, I mean, you know, anybody needs my number. You know,
well, somebody who sees this on YouTube might be able to ring you up and give you some advice on this. So.
Can you read this number out, because I haven't got my glasses on?
Read one out there.
Terrible. So they've nicked my glasses and all, so...
They've nicked your glasses?
Yeah, I can't get in for my glaslasses. This is my number anyway.
Graham's personal number is 07562 633 894. But if anybody is wanting to get in contact, the best way is through Response Northeast on Facebook.
Right, brilliant. Response Northeast
on
Facebook.
Yeah.
Wicked, mate. Alright, I think we're going to conclude here at this, like, and there, YouTube is what to expect.
Yeah.
People smashing into your house illegally. Yeah. This is Free Britain today, isn't it? Cheers, thanks a lot anyway.
Right, you're welcome.
Appreciated. So here we are in Sunnybrow. I'm just going to... sorry, what's your name again?
Ash.
Ash, I'm going to ask what the crack is with this, and he's going to explain to us how this all came about in the first place. And something to do with the figures being wrong, 2 sets of figures and things like that. Off you go, Ash, mate.
So what happened was, Graham and Glynis, the family that live here, Graham's ex-Durham Light Infantry, Glynis is also served the community by being a carer for 17 years. They both served and looked after some of the worst children in the country who are an alternative to prison. Glynis's husband passed away, and he owned a gym. She got with Graham, and Graham was going to buy the gym, and they got a loan on the house to buy the gym.
Remortgage the house and something, yeah.
But there was no affordability study. So what they've done is this mortgage company have overcommitted this couple. Now they fiddled the figures, they adjusted the figures so they would qualify for the loan. Some 18 months later...
So who did the figures?
It was a company called Beacon Home Loans, were the original mortgagee. It got transferred on the same day as completion over to Redstone Mortgages.
Right.
So we've got 2 companies who failed in their duty of care to check the calculations on the maths, basic maths, or basic qualification for a loan. You know, somebody's job is to do that.
Yeah.
And 2 people have failed in their duty to do that. Some 18 months later, Redstone Mortgages claimed to have noticed this mistake and contacted Graham and Glynis to say that the mortgage would increase because the calculation was so wrong, and the payments would increase, but they wouldn't charge them for any backdated money as it was their fault.
Yeah, right.
So the mortgage nearly doubled. What's going on though is the international LIBOR scandal is hit about the same time. Now this letter that Redstone sent out about this mistake has never been seen by Graham and Glynis. The first time it was seen by them was in September, when I brought it to their attention from notes in their file.
Right.
They've never received that postal letter. They were actually in conversation with the mortgage company at the time, talking about £40 bills for insurance. So something that actually doubled their mortgage payment, you could assume that they would talk to the mortgage company about.
Yeah.
As they were in conversation with them at the time. So Glynis has heard some negative rumours over, the Paula Campbell case when the Redstone Mortgage Company stole that farm.
Yeah, it was up the road, wasn't it? Not far away, yeah.
So because of that, Glynis has wrote in a letter...
That turned out all to do with the wind turbines, wasn't it? And
that's correct.
Trying to get a licence for this.
That one up there.
That one there? That's the one that was put up?
That's the one that was put up without any licence, sub judice by government, by Durham Council. So what's happened is basically Glynis has wrote a letter to Redstone Mortgages to sort of inquire. It's a sort of a legal letter asking about the legal status of a mortgage.
Yeah.
Their reply the next day was to issue a repossession against the property.
Oh, fair enough. That's a bit heavy going, isn't it?
They did it under something because of the mannerisms of the letter. They did it under something called non-engagement. Because they considered that letter as a non-engagement. Like as somebody who they couldn't do business with.
Yeah.
Refusing to cooperate. So because she made a request, it was non-cooperation.
So they've acted illegally themselves then, right to start with. They've used any excuse they can in order to repossess the house and get out of their own mistakes.
Yes.
By not doing the sums right.
They've also sent us 2 copies of figures that are completely different to each other. They've sent us documents stating that they were signed by Glynis. They don't look like they signed by Glynis. They sent a document saying it was a photocopy of the mortgage deed. The mortgage deed's about a year big. They say that they've slimmed this mortgage deed down to fit on the A4 using a photocopier. But the signatures are normal size. So, for some reason, they've made the signatures normal size, but the document's been made small down. It doesn't bear sense. It looks like a fraudulent document to me because it bears no resemblance to anything truthful. You know, you've got a document that's been shrunk down and a clear signature that's in normal size. It's supposed to be on that same document.
So on the original document.
It just doesn't make sense. Then basically what's happened this morning is you've had a guy called Sergeant Phillips acting with Durham Constabulary. He came with partial uniform on, so he was acting as a policy officer. He's forced entry into the home along with around about 30 bailiffs who came in 2 vans. They then proceeded to violently force Graham and Glynis from the home, and they've used physical force throughout the day and constant threats. They've even Chad Evans, who was stood in front of her door with me, was pushed by a bailiff. So obviously Chad being the same sort of size, he pushed back a bit, and Chad was arrested, taken out of the area and told not to de-arrested and told to not come back.
So
he's on his way.
Did he get put on an ASBO or anything?
No paperwork whatsoever. He's on his way back. He's just been given an order by a policy officer. He's refusing to obey that order. They want to arrest him. Let's sort that out in court. So I've tried to be arrested myself all day today. I've been abusive to the police. I've been threatening. I've been swearing left, right and centre, basically calling them cunts and pigs to their faces. Although I believe some of them are fantastic people, they're good men. You know, and they've been, I think a lot of these policemen who are here today have been lied to, been given false information, and now when they're confronted with these facts, some of them you can see the embarrassment in their faces.
Absolutely, man.
So we have got some decent police out there, thank God. But the trouble is, they're not the ones in charge.
Right, well, that's it, innit? But you know, it's like I was saying to some of the coppers, man. They need to go home tonight, you know, when they in their own time and look it up for themselves.
I hope they do.
And find out
God
what's
bless
going on.
them, you know, because they do such a dangerous job. You know, and as I say, you know, like there's constables standing there now. And we've offered to make sure, I said I'll go to the shop for water and things like that, because they're stood in black. It's a very hot day, as you can see. I've got no shirt on. It's a really hot day. We don't want any harm coming to these men or women. We care for them. We care for any honest constable.
It's the kind of attitude we need towards the minute at the end of the day,
And he has somebody coming for to board up the thing again, I think.
Here they are again.
Anyway, thank you very much.
Thank you very much for that little interview, man. Give everybody a bit of an understanding about what's going down then, And sort of things to expect.
We must challenge authority, we must ask why. And if we can't get a clear, concise why, you know that it's a lie. You must challenge things. You know what's right in your belly. Just do right. Don't do wrong. Don't harm anybody. Don't cause anybody any loss. And look after each other.
Good man. Well done, mate. Easy life, man.
Good luck to you, right?
Alright, buddy. Nice one, mate. Whereabouts are we?
Sunnybrow.
Right, we're at Sunnybrow, looking at yet another eviction. Just drove past, thought I'd better come in and have a look, see what's going on YouTube, Stick our noses in here. Alright, mate. Right.
Unfortunately, she's still financially liable for it, so any damages or anything like that would be all adjusted into the bill anyway. So you actually have no remit here. You're saying you have, it's based on a falsity. Unfortunately, you've stepped outside of your uniform, you're no longer police. Although you put your helmets on, you're still no longer constables. I'm trying to inform you of that. I suggest what you do is contact your legal department to verify what I'm saying. And any constable where you saw would do it.
I've been in London. Who's the owner of the house then?
Glynis.
You like to go on camera, Glynis? Yeah, I'm called the Truth Machine from Darlington on YouTube and that. You alright, mate?
I'm getting there.
Have you already been evicted then?
Yeah, absolutely disgusting.
So what's the point of being here now? Are you carrying on with your protesting that?
No, no vacant possession was taken place because this property is part of the property, and they were left within the confines of the property, so no vacant possession was taking place in the first place.
Wow. Well, what about the paperwork and stuff then? Was that all stamped? No, none of it was stamped.
Never seen it yet. It's supposed to be signed.
Yeah.
He knows. Oh.
Yeah, it's supposed to be stamped by the judge and all that, and you're supposed to have a signature.
I've never seen any paperwork.
You're supposed to have a signature by the clerk of the court as well to witness that the judge has actually signed it. Yeah.
No, we and the police said they were coming here to maintain civil breach of the peace. Sorry.
In case there's a breach of the peace. Yeah.
What do you mean is they came to breach the peace?
Yeah, well, it's like, it's intimidation, isn't it? At the end of the day, by the police.
They did everything with the bailiffs to help them.
Yeah.
Not at any point did they help us.
It's disgusting. It's disgusting the way the police are behaving these days. You know what I mean? They're almost like the SS of the government policy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Which is what it is. Well, it's not even government policy; it's private policy, isn't it? Because it's the bailiffs themselves.
It was about how many? About 15, 20 of them. Yeah.
You must feel awful being here, really, eh? Surely you must. You look fed up. So, what's your name, mate? What's your name?
PC2218.
PC2218. Would you like to shake my hand? Yeah, of course I do. Because we're all human beings, aren't we?
That's right.
At the end of the day. And I don't know. It's nice to know how the police actually feel about this themselves. Like, how do you feel? Are you willing to talk about it? How do you feel about this?
Don't really know much about it though.
Well, there's no real legal paperwork being given to the people that own the house. They've just said that, and they'll show you that
something has been served though, hasn't it?
Yeah, but the summary is illegal. At the end of the day, the summary itself is illegal.
Have you looked at that?
Sorry?
Have you looked at that?
But the summary itself, that there is notice to tell the bailiffs that they've got no right to enter. That's what that is all about.
As you can see, no reverse liability on there whatsoever.
Yeah. Which means that they can't enter in the first place. Explain that to me, mate.
Reverse liability is where the signature is here, there should be an identifiable name, and that name makes himself or herself liable in reverse, as it were. As they don't print their name there is no reverse liability, so nobody is making themselves responsible for what has gone on today.
Right, I'll get you now. Yep. So basically, what the crack is the bailiffs can just move in and then say, right, we've got some paperwork here, you owe X amount of money, without no justifications.
I don't exactly know what's happened this morning, to be fair. I wasn't here.
Have you not even talked to the people at
I've talked to them.
Yeah. I'm sure they've told you the same thing.
They've told us their version of events. I don't know exactly what's happened though.
Yeah.
I wasn't
so
here.
it's a civil matter, isn't it? Is that right? It's a civil matter, isn't it? So why are the police even here in the first place?
He's stolen an axe. Either bring the axe back or give her a receipt. You took it from this property, return the receipt to this property. No, listen. You listen to me. I'm your master. You are my servant.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
Very good.
Yeah, you're a public servant, aren't you? Are you a public servant, Sergeant?
So
yes, you are.
Absolutely.
Serve the public. Bring the axe back. No violence has been used. Why are you stealing private property? You're here to prevent private property from being harmed, you said. So you've just tore from private property. Get real.
There's been damage caused. It might have been used in the offence, and I've seized it.
So what were you saying 2 minutes ago? You liar!
You're
a liar!
You seized it as evidence. Yeah, you seized it as what? As evidence against the
You've just
assault?
changed your story to suit your means. You're bent.
I don't know whether it's
Go
been
away,
used.
man.
So have you seized it as evidence, or have you just removed
I've
it?
seized it as evidence, and it's a risk to public safety.
So's that bit of wood. So's that bit of wood down there.
Bagged and tagged and logged and everything as evidence against that, or not?
Has it been bagged and tagged, has it?
And it will be suitably dealt with.
No, but is it being suitably dealt with now?
Dealt with, Sergeant.
Sergeant, what's your name, Sergeant? If you don't mind me asking, please.
1796.
1796. And that's it. Well, sorry, what's your name?
Peel.
Which
Peel.
station you from?
I'm from Durham Constabulary.
Yeah, you're from Bishop Auckland or where?
Durham Constabulary.
Oh yeah.
So the crime, is, well, you're going to arrest your officers committing a crime by backing up the bailiffs then?
They do. Calm yourself and so.
So what actually are you here for now? Why are you stood here now?
To prevent further damage.
Take all the stones out the garden.
So there's been a window broken.
Yeah, what about all these
Some
stones,
sheets taken.
Sergeant?
Yeah.
You know, like you're talking about confiscating things. Why don't you pick up everything here that could be used as a weapon and seize it? Do your job.
Massive
unreasonable.
sticks there.
You're not reasonable. You're irrational.
It wasn't on any person.
You're irrational.
It wasn't removed from anyone.
And you're a thief.
It wasn't
You've been
taken
caught.
from any man or woman.
Deep down, how do you feel about it, Sergeant, man? How do you really feel about it? You think this is right? You think it's just? Do you think it's just in yourself?
Happy I've seized the axe.
No, I'm on about the house itself. I'm on about
I've just
the
come
eviction
here
order and
afterwards
stuff.
when someone's been breaking in.
Yeah, but I'm asking you about the old process of the eviction order and everything
I've
like
had
that.
nothing to do with that. I've just responded to a call.
Send someone
Someone's been
indifferent.
damaging.
And I've lost an axe.
That's why I'm here. And I'm here to prevent further damage.
Nobody's going to telephone.
The Durham Constabulary.
Yeah, nobody responded to 2999 calls.
Are you only doing your job, aren't you? Just like the Nazis were in the Second World War, eh?
I know, but you've just...
You know something? We
That would be
rang
the Nazis that
999
were
now
home.
and one of your officers rang in to say if you get a 999 from this address to ignore it.
I don't know anything about that.
But you know,
I never know anything about anything.
Yeah, I know
isn't
about
it?
axes,
I
yeah.
don't know anything about anything.
Well-
You're just doing that job, man.
You do know now because I've informed you.
Right, well I've taken that
And?
as evidence.
Evidence for
As
what?
evidence. I need it soon.
And
Look
it's
at my
also
arms.
public
That's some
safety
bloody
as well.
evidence.
So if the axe has
That's
been,
some evidence.
how are you
Stick
going
your
to...
arms into bloody custody and pat yourself on the back. It was
Because of the
just...
I need
Have
my
you
ass
know?
back because I am going to light
She
a
chopped
fire
wood.
Right.
to cook my little food because I ain't
Okay.
doing anything.
Well, unfortunately, I've seized it for the time being.
Okay, well I'll get back last night.
I think he's sure
I don't know about that.
I need to have my food.
He's not sure whether
Can we go and seize all your weapons? Because you're
I
carrying
don't
on
think
you.
so.
Swap my axe for that piece
do you
of
mean you
brick
don't
because
think
that could have
so?
been used the same.
The only thing that's missing on your guys' uniforms is SS, mate. That's it. SS. Even though you didn't take part in the actual eviction itself, you're still backing it up. You're still part of the police force. And this is what the police force are doing to the general public today.
No, there's been no
With no legal paperwork for you to carry through what you're carrying through. You
From what-
yourselves
what- from what I've been
are
told,
causing breach of the
There
peace.
has been a court case, and
Still in litigation.
well, they've made a decision. There's potentially,
Which is completely illegal.
well, that's you know
Which is
that's
completely
a court,
illegal.
That's a court.
We
that's a
rely on you
court
as police
decision.
officers to back this up,
That's a
man,
court's
and look
decision,
through the
you know.
paperwork properly.
That's a
The
court's
policeman's job is to make sure that the paperwork is legal, and it obviously hasn't been looked at, has it, by the police, to send the bailiffs away.
They wouldn't let us check any of the paperwork, you know. We've not seen a warrant at all.
That's disgusting, man.
And the police stood there and let them do it
Yeah,
as well. There was
you're assisting this crime.
no due
10,000 members
process
of the
followed
public.
whatsoever from beginning to end with this whole debacle. And they've just facilitated it and assisted the bailiffs. Every single one of them in a uniform and not in a uniform.
Did you think that
It's going to be your turn soon. You know they're privatising the police force, don't you? Like, they're going to get G4S in doing your job, mate. You'll be next.
Well, it happens.
You'll be using your house next when you can't afford to pay your
Because obviously it's not advised. I
Mortgage.
believe it's not in your remit of your job is to fall into financial hardship. So what happens when all of you start losing your houses and stuff? If your job cuts that up,
They'll ask the people to support them again,
Of
won't
course
they?
they will. Of course they will.
Didn't the police have a protest last year about their wage cuts and stuff like that? And they've been told now that they can't even protest against what's happening to the police force itself with
Compliance
privatisation.
monkeys, man, will just take it until the shit hits the fan.
Broken the law. Broken the law.
Then they might do some research and find out what the actual law is.
Are you guys going to be guarding this house now for the next sort of 2 or 3 weeks or something then, is it? Is that what you're going to be
No
doing?
idea.
Well, as soon as 3 days
Are you waiting on the boys coming down and nick everybody?
taking this property back under lawful means.
Right.
By going in through the roof, causing no damage to the shutters. I'll go in through the roof. I'll remove all the shutters from inside peacefully. as the law says I'm allowed to do. Done it before, it won't be the first house I've taken back, because I actually care about the people. I actually give a damn. My grandfather gave his life for the freedom we are actually having now. He gave his life for it, and I value that gift that he gave. I won't disrespect by turning my face away from freedom. I will not submit to the boot of destruction which you're now placing upon this family.
Well said, mate. By the way, well fucking said that. Nice one, mate. Happy days, eh? For you guys. Not very nice for the family that have been evicted though, eh? Is it? I mean, you know, like, my old man, my grandfather, my great-great-uncle fought in the First World War. People died in the Second War for freedom and democracy, right, yeah? You call this democracy when bailiffs can come in without it being signed properly, court cases illegally been taken, and then police themselves, i.e. the SS, is where what I take you police officers to be, behaving like. You're behaving like the SS, mate.
Right.
You know, the system said you're not having it, and we're here to back the system up rather than the police themselves.
This has gone to a court. The court have decided to repossess the property. That repossession's occurred, and then afterwards we've had a report of someone damaging the property, which is why we're here. So that's why we're here.
Right, okay.
That's it.
Yeah. That's your job. So your colleagues though, speaking for your colleagues, have helped to facilitate illegal actions by evicting these people without the proper paperwork. And it's just been told, you've just been told it's still under litigation. The court case is still under litigation, which means that the bailiffs have then acted unlawfully. So then the police should be saying, no, it's still under a litigation. You guys as bailiffs have not got the right to seize this house. And you as police officers should be backing the people up to make sure that the paperwork's right, and that's not being done that way, has it, at all?
Well, the court's given the bailiffs the authority. This is what's happened, and we're here for the aftermath.
Yeah, but the courts have acted illegally in the first place.
Well, that's your
if the courts have acted illegally in the first place, sure, it's the policeman's job to uncover that fact. But you don't seem to. Has any of the police force actually looked into the signatures and how things are supposed to be done lawfully and legally?
I haven't, but certainly
you haven't, and you can't even say that.
I've come here because someone's been damaging the property. That's why.
Yeah, I understand you saying that.
Yeah,
I know you're saying that.
Well, what's happened before? That's I've had no involvement in it. I can't answer that question.
There were 3 apparent police dressed in plain.
Passing the buck on. Why don't you as a sergeant look into it yourself?
Yeah.
Why don't you as a sergeant look into it yourself in your private time, and see exactly what the law really is on this, instead of police officers coming down and backing up what they don't even know about.
Well, I know about the law of criminal damage, and that's been damaged. That's been removed. That's damaged. That's why I'm here.
Yeah, I can understand that. But we're not talking about that.
Okay.
I'm talking about illegal evictions and police not doing the job properly and making sure the paperwork is done correctly before the bailiffs move in and seize the house. Would you not be willing to do that off your own back? To see how legal or illegal it actually is? Obviously not now. What about when you go home tonight?
Maybe.
Before you get in your nice warm bed?
Maybe.
Kiss your kids good night and all that kind of stuff, like, eh?
Well, do you know that we do have an impact on some of the coppers of there. On the last evictions I was on, I took some paperwork up because he says, well, if you say what you're saying's right, son, I'll check it out. I says, well, look at me, I'm not even bothered, you don't even have to check it out. I'll give you the paperwork so you can actually then... how were you, the damage your heart?
Hey, I've got a pregnant lady.
Yeah, go on, sorry, what were you saying?
I give them the paperwork. Hey, decent lads. Some of them are, they're not all Death Eaters, like. Some of them are soulless creatures, and that's the trouble, like. They're just doing their job. Just like that 87-year-old guard who's going on trial for just doing his job.
Yeah, same with like the SS and all the rest of them.
We're going to have a day in court eventually. It's going to happen.
I hope so, mate. I hope it comes all right for you.
I asked the police to verify the paperwork, to take it away and have it checked out. It's not fraud anything.
You need the what, sorry?
I asked the policeman, Simon Schofield, I asked him to take the paperwork away off the bailiffs and see if it is not abroad.
And they didn't.
They didn't.
They weren't interested.
Well, I tell you who it is. People are waking up all
They
over.
kept me out, they wouldn't let me back in.
Policeman's jobs is to investigate and make sure everything's being done legally and lawfully, isn't it? And he's not doing it.
No, I've never seen any paperwork
So many
yet.
people are waking up. And
What's your name, by the way?
don't realise
Lilith. Lilith. Good luck to you then. Listen, I've got to go because I've got some work to do this afternoon.
the only
But
way
I'll pop back in. I'll pop back in.
Staying here.
at planning commission. Yeah.
Aye.
And the
Nice
student
gathering
paper
anyway.
says
Everybody wants to sit in and take visual.
Because they wrote that letter directly to the government because business leaders wrote a letter saying why a Labour government would be bad for this country.
all
Now your senior officers are starting to get involved in politics. It's going to, in this case, trickle down is going to work because it's going to trickle down through the ranks. We want you on our side. We want you to see where we're coming from. We're sick of being shit on from high.
what kind of
They treat us like shit all the time, and enough's enough. We've had enough. May the 1st down in Nottingham, there is going to
So
be...
what's your political views then? Who do you...
I'm apolitical. I don't vote. I won't vote. Under the current system, I won't vote. Because what happens at the moment is you vote for any party, that party gets into power. The Rothschilds, the Bilderbergs, the money men come down and they go, you'll do this. And they're all acting for the same puppets. They are puppets of the same puppet masters, rather. And we're never going to win unless we start to make a stand. And that's what we're starting to see happening now. People are making a stand. 700 people down in Nottingham outside one chap's house.
Police are here to protect the public, aren't they, at the end of the day, and what they're doing is protecting the corporate people, all the rich people, all the people that who are lying and ripping us off, printing up false paperwork with false signatures on, not filled in properly, and the police aren't even interested in looking it up to make sure that it is all legal and lawful. They're just taking the word of the court that what they've done is legal and lawful because it's a court. The courts don't stand above us as people, and the police are there to protect the people from wrongdoings by the system. But yeah, the police don't seem to get it at the minute. I hope you do eventually, in starting to look into these things and seeing where signatures should be, and a printed name at the end of the letter. And you know, if there's letters coming from the courts, then it needs to be signed by the judge, and it also needs to be signed by the clerk of the court who witnesses the judge signing it in the first place. That's the law. Now the police are there to make sure the law is carried out correctly. You guys aren't doing it at the minute. You guys are just taking the court's words that what you're seeing as paperwork as being correct, and it isn't. It is not correct, and the police aren't interested at this moment in time in looking into it to see whether it is right or wrong. Guys, you guys need to go home from here, and tonight when you get in, get on the net, look it up. There's official websites that says the whole proceeds that you have to go through, and the signatures that has to be on these bits of paper that aren't on these bits of paper. People's houses are getting seized, people's lives are being taken away from them, and you guys are backing them up. You know, you need police force need to click on. You work for the people, not for the government, you work for the people.
Let's bring it down to something that you use every day. You recognise that?
I do, yeah.
Right, £10 note, yeah? Now what does it say on there? It says, I promise to pay the bearer on demand the sum of £10. Is a promise to pay payment?
I've got my nice new car and I'll park it here, and then I'll have no problems. I'll forget about what everybody else is going on in the world.
It's a simple question. Is a promise to pay? If I say to you, if I say, oh, nice radio, I'll give you 50 quid for that, and you say, oh, all right, then you give me that, and I write on a piece of paper, I promise to pay the bearer upon demand the sum of £50,
Right.
and give you that piece of paper. Have you been paid?
Not the queen thing.
No, I wouldn't take it as paper.
You mean nothing.
If you just wrote it on a bit of paper and said that, I wouldn't know.
But that's all that is.
You as a
That's just
man-
written on a piece of paper.
I agree, but I dare say you use that money as well, do you, sir? You use that currency?
Yeah, I have to, like, yeah.
Well,
At the moment,
so do
because
I.
there's no other way.
So do I.
But this
But
has
I
no
also-
value.
I don't know where
This
you're
has
going.
no value.
I also use another currency.
If I took this to the Bank of England and said I've come for my £10, what are they going to do? They should be able to give me £10 worth of gold, but they can't because they've sold all the gold.
Oh, what's that currency that we use now? What's it called?
Bitcoin.
Bitcoin you're on about?
No. What does our currency run off again? Is it
Or the fiat currency.
Fiat.
Yes. It's a fiat currency.
Yeah.
That's what we have, and that's what's wrong.
bullshit?
The currency has nothing to back it up. But it has nothing to back it up.
I hear what you're saying, but we all use it though, don't we?
Because we're forced to.
So what would you have us do then?
I would have you go in and arrest the bankers. I would have you go in and arrest the politicians. I would have you investigate the fraud properly.
So how would we then deal? Like as normal day-to-day people, how would we pay for things? How would we? What would you put in place?
We would come to arrangements in local communities, probably.
Let me tell you a currency I do, right?
Okay.
See, with some people, right, I'm self-employed, right, but with some people they can't afford to employ me to, they really desperately need the roof fixing, they can't afford to do that. Yeah. I'll swap them something. I'll say, alright, well, pay us £5 a week, or I'll say, right, you do woodwork, make me a wooden fireplace and I'll fix your roof. You know what I mean? It's all about swaps and, things that are equal in value. Like, you feed me for a month and I'll do 2 weeks worth of work on your house, man, you know what I mean? It's like, it's a different way of doing business, but the way it is these days, people are that skinned. That's the way you have to do business with some people at the minute, and it's going more that way because the money market is collapsing. People ain't got money to pay for now these days, man. You guys are lucky you're in a job. These people in the dole, they either have to pay for the electric and gas or eat. They can't do both. It's unaffordable. It's unaffordable for people on the dole now. They've got to do one or the other.
To get to appointment, so they get sanctioned, and then they can't even afford to eat.
Yeah. Well, I was just in London there a couple of days ago. Just come back up from there. Loads and loads of people are now becoming homeless because they've been sanctioned by the dole because they're like 10 minutes late from signing on. How ridiculous is that? So they're starving you to death for 12 weeks at a time because you're late for an appointment, 10 minutes late for an appointment or 5 minutes late for an appointment. What kind of justification, what kind of system and society are we living in today? If this is what our system are doing to the population of the country, starving you to death, having to go out and beg on the streets, making you homeless because of the rules and regulations that the dole are dishing out to people now. And it's all about getting the numbers down of how many people are on the dole. It's no to do with people being fucking naughty and having to be starved, because they're 10 minutes late. What kind of society are we living in, man? And you guys are backing it all up. You're making people homeless, which is not your job to do. Your job is to protect us. Your job isn't to protect the corporate businesses and have people made homeless. It's not your job to do that. It's your job to make sure that there's no breach of the peace. But you're facilitating a breach of the peace by doing what you're doing. How? You're making people homeless.
Your officers actually...
This lady's got to sit in a garden of her house and cook her food in a garden. Now you've took the axe of her, she can't chop wood to even feed herself with. And how criminal is that? That's a criminal act in itself. Everybody, every free person in this country have got the right to have a roof over their head, a fire to stay warm, and a fire to cook on. You've just took that right away from this lady. Do you know what I mean? So how Nazified is this country becoming?
I wasn't here, was I?
It could have been anything. There's a bit of stick over there, there's stones there that could have broke the window, there's a log there, oh, there's that there, could have busted it, the little lamp.
I just saw the lad.
There could have been, he could have put the window through everywhere, any one of these tools here. Yeah, why come you haven't seized them? You just seized their axe.
I think that was directly below the window then, isn't it?
Does it matter where it was?
I don't know where it was.
It doesn't matter where it was, or it's below the window or what. Is there glass fragments on it? Does it look like it's been used to smash the window?
Didn't seize it, fella. Didn't seize it.
Alright.
It's a human right. I recognise you.
Yeah.
Are you a Spenny lad?
No.
Bishop?
No. I'm not telling you where I am or who I am.
Oh, you came straight. The thing is, you came straight up to me and asked me what my name was, didn't you?
Yeah, because you look the cutest one out of a lot of them, mate.
Oh, thanks,
you look like the beginner. The one that's not been in the job for that long. So I'd like to ask an opinion of someone with a fresher mind,
11 years,
who hasn't been, been taken over by all this fraud that's going on, and illegal and unlawful acts that you're carrying out today by evicting people in the first place. you know, a young fresh mind has got a bit more of an open mind.
Judging me on my looks, man, that's the thing.
People judge me on my looks all the time, mate, you know. Jobs are good in life.
Didn't again when you turned up, didn't I?
Right.
I didn't judge you.
Oh yeah, people do.
I mean, you got a camera shoved at us, eh? But
of course, man. Are you going to slap me? Apparently, they're going to make it illegal for filming you guys soon, aren't they?
He hasn't shoved it. He hasn't. No. No, he was like you with his camera. Didn't like that.
He was close as he was there, so slap his camera going.
Look how far he's away.
Yeah, but he was only there as well. Yes, he was.
Was you assaulted, was you?
Yeah, I was assaulted on film, and the closest my hand got was there.
Yeah.
What's he got none about, man? He's ragged, didn't he?
Well, he's allowed to defend his own body space, but he should have
everybody's allowed to do that
first.
Get outside my bubble.
You don't want no one up in your grill, do you?
Yeah, too right, man. Not right up in your grill, no. If you're entering into your own personal space, which is what, a foot around you?
Yeah, something like that.
Is your own personal space? Yeah.
Is this alright for you?
Sorry?
Is this alright to stand here?
Yeah.
I'm just making sure.
I want to go have a word with the sergeant again anyway. Nice to meet you guys, eh? Brilliant job you're doing.
Cheers.
Hey, easy life. Well, this will be on YouTube tonight, innit? Where's the sergeant gone?
At least I know where to find him.
Wonder why he's hiding round here. 2 minutes, mate. Are you calling for backup then, boss?
Yes.
There's quite a few people gathered up, eh? Anyway, that's good that you're getting a lot of support in the.
We had more earlier on, actually. There was more here earlier on, but when the first lot of police went, a few of them went, like, but no, we had about 70 here in
Don't look like we're going to get any sense out of the sergeant, mate. He's trying his hardest to avoid us. Easy life, YouTube, over and out. Until next